Epic. I'm going to be playing some keyboard today. Some keyboard. Hell yeah. It's turned on. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Let me just make sure that this is... I want to position this right. Focus on the music making part. I can't do a backflip. I'd probably kill myself. I'm being real. I've never practiced that. Plus, there's not much space in here to do that. Just look. I'd probably kill myself. Look, there's literally no space to do that. See, look. I'd probably hurt myself, so... That's not logically possible right now. I appreciate the enthusiasm, though. What? Whatever. I'm just here to play music. Okay. Is this just a bunch of bots spamming? That's unfortunate. I mean, I know how the algorithm is, but that's pretty frustrating how there's like very few real people on the, app. On the app, it's just a lot of bots. It's kind of sad, honestly. I wanted to reach a real audience. Oh well. I'm not a bot. Well, hello. That's good. I'm still practicing, but you know, I know how to play some songs, not every song. I'm still working on it, but it takes a lot of practice. I'd love to do it. I probably practice it. I probably could, but it takes a lot of work to Damn, this piano cheap. It sounds bad. It's a keyboard. It's not a piano. It's a keyboard. See? It's all I have, so I'm just using what I have. Don't be rude. Wouldn't you do the same thing? Come on now. can also change the tones if I want. Different sound. It's hard to be nice sometimes when people just always have something negative to say. It's like, chill out, man. Like, you're just breathing like the rest of us. An influx of messages at the start. Let me just pay attention to this. Hold on. Let me read all of this. WN. What even just happened? Like, absolute just like, hi. What? Do have PC, don't have PC. Hey there, little musician, hello. Do Rushy, can't. Hi, where's your parents? One of them died. Bro. If you don't know the full story, you should be saying much, you know? You should be respectful, you know that? Damn, is that piano cheap because it sounds bad? Little bro, do yourself a favor, buy a piano. I'm not hating, just to be clear. I'm using what I have, you know? I'm doing my best. And the fact that anyone should have the common decency to say such a thing is very disrespectful. Like, you have no idea what people go through. You should be kinder, you know? It's not very nice. I had a feeling that when I started this that someone was going to say something like that, but I don't care. I'm not afraid of someone saying something like that because I understand the complications of how hard it's going to be to actually make this work, but I already started yesterday. I did one. I'm doing another one, so it compounds eventually. It's hard to stay consistent, especially when what you want to happen is not. It's just not happening, and it's really frustrating. But productivity isn't the answer to everything, by the way. If someone feels horrible, it's hard to do anything at all. You get what I mean? It's easy. It's easy to be able to do something when you feel good about yourself, but when you don't, it's really hard to be confident in yourself and do something, especially if other people are watching, because people are very, you know, hypercritical of others, but they never look inwards, which is very annoying because obviously you're looking at this and you're probably going to judge me more than you're judging yourself. So you should just be careful of what you're saying because you're also a person. And if you were afraid to do something like this, then you would probably say the same thing of yourself. So it's not very nice. That's all. It's really annoying when people I keep starting these things up and I keep getting negative messages and it's really annoying. It's very disruptive. I'm trying not to pay attention to the negativity. I'm trying to be kind. I'm trying to spread positivity and try to continue to do what I'm doing. But it's very annoying and gets even more challenging. The only response I seem to get is do this, do that, suggestions and unlimited questions and just people bombarding you without understanding the full story first. So it'd be nice if I could actually explain myself first and foremost, which is the fact that I have a story to tell and I don't appreciate people bashing me and disrespecting me because I've done a lot of hard things that I never thought I could do. There's been a lot of days when I've done things that I didn't want to do, and I actually continue to do them. For example, I went for a 5 kilometer run 2 days in a row, and I didn't even feel like getting out of bed. I didn't feel like getting out of my room, and I did it anyways. And it's done. It's been done. I got stronger because of it, but it still feels like hell because it feels like, what did I even get out of it? I did it, sure, but it just feels like it didn't matter. You know what I mean? All these things we do, and we try to make an effort to make something change, but everything just stays the same. And it's super frustrating. Feels like you're trapped in a loop. And I just want to help other people escape that loop too. Because I know what it feels like to know that you're not where you belong, but you're also not being treated with the respect that you deserve. And it's a vicious cycle. So I know how people on the internet tend to be. Obviously they're hidden behind a camera, so obviously you're just going to say whatever you want. I get that. Because it's a lot easier to actually meet someone in person and talk to them. You would respect them and talk to them in a way different way if you were to meet them in person, right? As opposed to if you were to see them online. It's a lot easier to make comments and say weird things and mess around and do whatever because you're just bombarding on someone else's, business. But yeah, I believe in what I'm doing, so I don't care. I don't care. That's it. Simply put. So I'm gonna leave this right here. I don't care. This might be terrible for the first time. This is the first time I'm doing this. Obviously, it's gonna be terrible. I know that. I'm aware of that. All right. You don't think I know that? But at least I can say that I did something, right? I'll be proud of myself for actually trying. So I'm gonna play some songs. I'm bored anyway, and I have nothing important to do today. someone's opinion is of little consequence to me. I can change the tones, I can change the sounds if I want, I can do anything. Oof. Let's see if I can. Let me see. 0 to 90. Messages I've been getting are upsetting me, I'm not gonna lie. It hurts me to look at them. But I'm not gonna take it seriously because, you know, I took lessons when I was like 7 when I did this, so I should be able to know how to play properly now. I just wasn't. Yeah, I didn't feel like continuing. I'm here to relax, because everything's been just hard lately. This is my what song I'm trying to play. I know how to play a Zelda song. I also know how to play an Undertale song. I learn how to play a lot of songs through online tutorials. It's hard to remember all of them, of course, because I only had 2 hands and only play one song at a time. But sure, I'm getting of this right. How's it going? This bar is in the way. I can move this. I can get this out of the way. It's hard to. I have limited space in my room, so it's very hard to get everything properly set up. I don't have much to work with, so. Though I can play songs, though. Alright. I can play standing. I mean, it's better to have the camera like vertically, obviously. If I could have a mount, that would be really helpful. Do a favor to yourself, playing this piano. I'm not hating, sorry, to be clear. Yeah, there was an influx of messages. There was a bunch of spam, and there was a bunch of just, I don't know, out of character comments, I suppose. That's to be expected, I suppose. People act all sorts of weird ways. That's fine. I'm not really moved by that, because the stream. It's a little bit annoying because I it's hard to properly angle the camera in a way that I can leave it like this, and that would allow me to be able to properly showcase me playing while it's looking down on a down tilt view. That's the ideal setup, right? Problem is that I have a mount to record from up here like this. I'm holding it up in the air to be able to do this. See, that restricts me from being able to use my right hand right now to be able to play. So if I had something to keep the camera in a certain position, like this, then it would be a lot easier to do something. The main issue here is the setup. There is not really much of a setup, so obviously it's going to be impossible to even, you know. But good enough. You know, obviously we all use what we can have. I played piano since I was I think 7. And I even have videos from several years ago where I played. And I have a detailed archive of a bunch of live streams. What kind of stand do you need? I'm using a phone right now. The kind of stand I need is like something that can like mount and keep it up in the air and have a down view on like the room, so that I can focus on playing the keyboard while the camera's looking down on it, like kind of like an angle like this, while I'm focusing on playing. But right now I'm using my hand to do this. Right, there's equipment that you need to be able to do this more professionally. Obviously, I'm not professional at all. I'm a fucking amateur, so it's gonna look horrible. So I'm sorry for that, but I've been playing piano since I was like 6, and I think I got rusty because I didn't play for a long time, and I'm getting back into it again. So my journey of trying to relearn the keyboard and play again. It would be really helpful if I was able to set up. It would be really helpful if I would be able to set up something that would be able to latch this to the wall, for example. Kind of like that, I guess. That would be kind of helpful. Yeah, like an angle like that would be really neat. That really helps. This is like a more ideal angle. How's it going? Okay. I'm just gonna play whatever song I feel like for that moment. I know Undertale song, I know a Legend of Zelda song, I know a song from Zelda, I know a song from many other games. I'm just gonna play whatever. The main problem with the stream here is I'm trying to get this angle right because I'm focusing too heavily on trying to put the camera in a certain place and it's not really sticking to any set destination. It's very difficult for me to like where am I going to place, like I'm using my phone for this, so obviously this is coming from my phone. I'm recording this from my phone. I consider myself a musician or writer, and I'm currently writing a book, so I don't know like if I'm going to publish it, all those details and information doesn't matter, but like it's kind of like about how like a unique perspective on like how we can view life experience and how we can actually take actions that lead towards like kind of like a dream in a sense, to where like whatever it is that you want to be doing on a daily basis for in like your scheduling or like what you're doing from day to day becomes like the things that you love doing the most, is it becomes like a job. That's kind of like what I've always wanted to do. A selfie stick with a tripod stand, yeah, pretty much something like that, so I can have it up kind of like that, so I can have it like, yeah, exactly, something like that. That would help a lot with what I'm trying to do. The lighting, the lighting, I have my, is that too bright? Just let me know, is that too bright? My eyes hurt, I'm not gonna lie. I can change the tones too. Because the main struggle here is the camera positioning. Because I'm using my phone, so obviously I have no idea where to put my phone for this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to like record myself play just for like 20 minutes or something like that. I don't know. Because I have no space left to record videos, so I'm just doing a random live stream. And I know that it's probably not going to be very successful, and I don't really care. I'm doing this to prove something to myself, not to acquire a large audience of 1,000 people watching me play. It really is hard to maintain an audience. It's very difficult. Very difficult. But I'm not even trying to fake anything. I'm just being purely authentic, which is the only thing you really need to do, because time passes anyway, so I might as well be doing something. Alright. The most frustrating part about this is the positioning of the camera. I mean, can you? That would be great. I don't know how you'd be able to do that. I don't really have any like of those systems set up. I'm still working on that. But yeah, that's really kind of you. Hold on, I'm still setting this up. Anyone who sees this, I hope you have a good day, and I hope you have a great life, and I hope all your dreams come true. I'm trying my best to make mine come true, but in a very difficult situation. It feels very difficult to make that happen, but I'm doing everything I can. You know, it's been a very hard week. My is coming soon, so I hope something happens. You know, something good, because everything's just lately has been just horrible. I hope it ends. I'm gonna just be playing keyboard to relax today. Just playing some music. I wish I had somewhere to mount this properly, because it's currently plugged in, and yeah, I mean, I can literally just. It makes more sense to have camera off, because I mean, there's nothing even to record physically. That's a beautiful poster. I mean, come on, look at that. Anyways, this is what I'm playing on. It's what I have at the moment. Well then, turn off the camera, set the phone down, and let's hear some music. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to prematurely record my hand. Like, so let me just show you what I'm doing. So this in real life, this is basically what I'm doing. Right, I'm holding my phone with my left hand. Right, right, playing with this hand. All right, okay. So I'm just gonna do this. I don't know if the audio quality is even that good, but you know, I'm using my phone, so I have no idea how good it is, but let's see. I'll just, yeah, hope you enjoy, I guess. I can't wait to be able to get a mount and proper setup, because once I do that, I'm gonna stream every day. I'm probably gonna stream games on Capture, and probably gonna do it more often, just for fun, for fun, and for my own personal enjoyment, and this channel just for a little side thing. All right. Tones we have. Let me change the tone to 070. I don't know if like the quality is gonna be that good. It's gonna be close enough to the. I don't know if you can even hear that. So trying to work in progress. It's my second stream ever made. So I mean, obviously, when you start out, it's not gonna be that good, but eventually, you learn from the mistakes you made, and everything becomes easier. But let's just say when you come from a difficult place, it's hard to even have to, let alone be in a difficult circumstance and still decide against it. I mean, honestly, it's kind of a superpower. I mean, think about it. Let's say you're in the worst possible situation and you still decide to follow your dream. You still decide to do what you love doing. And I feel like there's a power in being like, all right, let's just be real with each other and be like, this has been a horrible week. This has been a really hard day. probably for a lot of people, and a lot of people are probably exhausted. Um, yeah, they don't say it, but truly they probably are, and honestly, there's a lot of people in the world that feel lost, and I completely get it. Um, there's honestly there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's normal for a lot of people. All right, we all experience this. I feel like it's an important reminder to remember that we can't be everywhere at once and do everything at once, and we need to respect those boundaries and those limits and still try our best to just create authentic content, which is what I'm doing. And I feel like it really represents my truth, not just uh, showing off flashy things or trying to pretend to be a cool person when I'm just being the person that I actually am. And I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not trying to be like somebody I'm not on camera or, on stream or anything. I'm just doing what I would normally do, which is what makes it so authentic and relatable. I'm just here to play games and to play songs on a keyboard. That's all I'm doing. That's literally all I'm doing. And anything else that happens, I'm just going to ignore it. Yeah. This is for me, and this is to prove something to myself that I could do this. This is nothing to do with just getting a lot of views or reaching a wide audience, but just want my voice to be heard, and I just don't want to be another nobody. That's all, because it's annoying to know all of the things you've accomplished and everything you're worth and still not get what you're worth. It's it's a frustrating thing that everyone goes through where they know they deserve better and they don't get better and they feel horrible, and it's hard to move forwards because it's hard to just get yourself out of a negative mood when you're just really down in it. That's 2 streams more than I've done. Yeah, I'm planning on continuing. I'm planning on continuing anyway. The general idea is I'm here to play games and to have fun and to play music. That's literally it. That is all I'm doing here today. There's nothing else. Of course, I mean, I could also, if I wanted, see, because I know that a lot of people today, they love watching other people play games, and I've always wanted to be that person that's able to have a fun time and to show other people a fun time, because I know how difficult life can get, and I really appreciate anybody who comes by. Even if it's just one person, 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, as long as you're real and you can see me and I can see you, that's great. That's all I'm asking for. I really don't ask for much. I consider myself, a prolific writer. Like, I do a lot of writing. See, all of this was done by me over the past 6 months to 18 months, I think. And same with this. I have probably several notebooks on my desk, just writing about all sorts of things to kind of empty your mind, kind of like clear your head, so that you can just have a better life. Because I know that what I need to do is not always, obviously the path forward is not always obvious. Nobody gives you a roadmap like, oh, do this and do that, and like your life is completed. Like, nobody ever tells you what you need to do exactly. They just assume that you'll figure it out yourself. And it's very frustrating because nobody actually listens to your problems and to like your actual struggle, which is sometimes I've been finding it hard to just get through the day and even go outside. Just even sometimes some days we just find it difficult to, you know, like, is it more like a writing diary or storylines? Honestly, it's all kinds of things. I mean, I've like everything from philosophical writing to like story, like creating your own personal narrative, making your own story, like directing your own life, like kind of like a movie. All kinds of things like that, like all of it. There's just little scattered notes here and there about like, let's say, how you might have felt during the day. I also like made a very specific note on March 18th this year or last year. I have no idea. I think I said something really specific, like some really deep things and some really interesting things, like human nature. Some people hate and some people love, which is true. Like a lot of us don't take the time to consider like other people's feelings, and we just move on very quickly and get absorbed in the next thing. And I understand the way the attention works in the world today. I get it's very complex, and I understand that people's attention spans are very short. And the more that you focus on managing your own attention span, you can actually like my idea of a good life well lived, like my idea of doing something that you love, my idea of living a good life is, in my personal opinion, I believe it is doing what you love to do every single day as a job. Like if imagine you had a job where what you did every single day was like, imagine you had a job where you play games and you get paid for it, like thousands of dollars a day. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like just think about that. You just play games or watch people play games already. Imagine if you got paid to do that as like full-time thing. That would be great. Because then you wouldn't have to worry about money anymore. And you'd be doing what you loved. That's a very good combination. A lot of people do that. There's a lot of privileged people that have the opportunity to do that today because they've managed to get themselves in front of an audience and put themselves out there, which enables them to do those things. And it's a mix of luck, opportunity, and persistence that gets them into a place of, I want to say, privilege. Is your writing like a diary or more like is it more like a diary? It's like a diary and a story. Like it's both, and it's also random quotations and random, just like insights and just all sorts of things. Honestly, it's filled with all sorts of messages and truths and like you know just really deep, profound things. Like we never take a moment to consider the complexities of the things that people go through, and we're so quick to judge other people like for how they look or how they sound or like all sorts of things, but we don't actually take the time to realize, oh, we're also a people with feelings and thoughts, and we also are aware of our own flaws. And the moment that you're being like negative, it proves your own flaw. Like if you're afraid to start a live stream and talk about the things you love, then likely or not, probably someone else scrutinizing you because they're too afraid to do that themselves. And the truth is that I don't care what anyone says. If it's negative, it's happened like 100 times already. So the algorithm is weird, and it's not my responsibility to control the algorithm. I'm just here to just say what I had to say today, and I feel like that's enough. I don't control the algorithm. I don't control all these like things and like on the internet. It's a weird place. It's weird times. I'm just trying to make my own contributions. That's all. But I do have some very specific things to say today, which is I'm just going to start with this. Right. I don't even need to say much, and this is not going to go on for much longer because yeah, I'm just going to say them. So, skills and talents is what get you out of, they get you unstuck. When you're talented at something and you know that you have a skill, you want other people to understand that. They want other people to see that and to hear them actually share something. and actually pay attention to the truth of what they're trying to, express. I'm in therapy, and one thing I've learned is self care is the most important thing towards good mental health. I have autism and ADHD, so I really do understand the things in the brain and judging. Yes. So, hyperdeficit, like if you struggle with attention, obviously it's really hard to hold attention, and you're always moving on to the next thing. It also doesn't help on top of that when you're panicking, you always feel like you should be doing something else, and then all of these things just add more complexity and they make you panic, and it makes it harder for you to be calm and regulate yourself, and you feel like nothing's worth living for. Humans are complex, right? So we're in nature we're contradictory, and we have negativity bias, so we always believe that everything we do is always going to be judged, so we never actually start. um, but honestly, not really too concerned about what anyone has to say in terms of a negative way. Like, I get it that like a lot of people just immediately jump to conclusions without paying attention for like more than 5 seconds. So I feel like that's probably one of the problems with the world today, is that if people actually took the time to listen to someone's story, like, we come from a difficult place and the truth of our story is very difficult, and we need to actually be just I'm very forgiving. I can forgive people, but a lot of horrible things have happened to me, a lot of traumatic experience. So it's really hard for me to just like magically smile and be like, hey, like, and be a good person. The fact that I'm even here today doing this and that I'm sharing this is already a step in the right direction, you know? Because I don't actually know where to go to talk to anyone about this. And I know that it's probably, I'm not going to try to belittle, the complexity of my own struggle by comparing with someone else, because it's not fair. It's not reasonable at all. Just for reference, this is a notebook that I wrote in. This is, I almost filled pretty much the entire thing with all sorts of things, all sorts of ideas, all sorts of thoughts were running through my head, all sorts of things emotions I was feeling at the time. And I'm not gonna lie, it might have helped temporarily. Like, obviously, emotions are complex and ongoing for everybody. And the problem here is we feel like we're not going anywhere. Even when we take the actions that matter, even when we take steps that matter, that should change our life, it still feels like everything is still hopeless, right? Have you ever felt that way before? Because well, I'm not trying to be fake or robotic. I just want to make sure that I get my point across concisely. So here's the deal. I've already written like a full story self autopsy, like personal experience where like everything that has happened in the past has been like documented in great detail. For example, personal life experience and everything we might have experienced in all those little memories and shared experiences with family and friends, all of those things I've like hyper documented like in story form. So how are you doing? Um, so basically I have plenty. I mean, I'm kind of like, if I had to say, like, I'm really into writing, and I do a lot of writing, and I'm currently writing a book um, about human behavior, and there's something really interesting that I noticed, which is people are really good at being judgmental rather than stopping to actually listen and pay attention and try to understand someone else. And the frustrating part about actually trying to get a project out there is not that the work hasn't been done and that the amazing creation hasn't been completed. It's just that it has no idea how to come out. It's like it's all there, for example, but I just have no I don't know how to like how I'm supposed to format it to share like um I've made this amazing thing, but I have no idea how to share it properly. So it's like a communication problem where the work has been completed, but I can't like express the truth of what I've done to a camera, which is the hard truth is that um, I've went for several 5K runs daily for a week, um, and it felt great in the moment, but over time, like obviously it started to suck, and we always go back into the loop of like nothing matters, and we always re-enter that loop of like you know going back to our same original loop again. And I'm trying my best to break out of that loop. The loop of like, oh, like you have to do something this way or that way. Um, because it's not true. You're allowed to do whatever you want. The fact that you should even feel restricted is the crime itself. Um, and if there's one thing that I noticed is people don't understand the full story. They don't understand how much someone's experienced, how much somebody has endured, and think they have the right to just say whatever they want is very infuriating because they have no idea what's actually going on behind the scenes, which is, I think we should be more mindful of that. That would probably be the smarter choice. Obviously, the harder thing to do is obviously mostly the right choice, right? Um, I'm in the same situation. I put it together, an idea, a real thing. I don't know how to get it out to the public, or maybe I do, but I'm scared it will fail. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's not that we lack the information that we need to succeed. It's that we don't know how to act on the information that we received, the information that we possess. That's exactly what it feels like. For example, I didn't have to start up this at all today. I just want to put that out there that anybody can start from anywhere. And I understand that you might feel like, what's the point? Why should I start? I feel the exact same way, and that's probably how everyone else has felt. Everyone else who started this as well has probably felt the same thing. But I would have rather tell myself that I tried to do something, even just a little bit of something, even if nobody saw it. Because what's important is I proved something to myself. I did something that I didn't want to do. And the more that you keep doing that, you become a different person. The more that you challenge yourself to do something differently, more opportunities show up. And this is just the way psychology works. If you keep spreading positivity, despite feeling like absolute garbage and feeling like your life is terrible and there's nothing to live for, that's exactly when things start to change. Because you know that other people feel horrible too. And they're just there to project their negativity onto you because they are like just they are just as confused as you are and they are just as lost and misdirected. So it's important to keep that in mind. That people often hate and people often spread negativity because it's easier to do that. It's easier to be rude. It's easier to not actually solve the core issue. It's easier to not share. It's easier to hide. It's easier to be afraid and to not do something. But I've already made up my mind, so nobody can help. No one can stop me from doing this now. So this is my choice. I own it. If it fucks up, if I fail, I honestly couldn't care less. I politely refuse to stay around negative people for any period of time. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. When we have learned a certain amount of information, like when we know that something feels off, when our heart says, my mood is not, I don't appreciate this behavior, like, I'm just trying to be a good person and share, you know, a story. And it's just, it's kind of annoying when people just always have something rude to say. The problem with the world is perspective. If everyone could understand that everyone is a completely different situation from one another, parallel to one another, and in separate realities. For example, this is the idea that I want to explain. So, when you think about it, there's people in the world that are in a situation where they're highly privileged and highly protected, while other people have to survive through a very hellish time and a lot of traumatic experiences. And there's so much things they have to endure just to survive and just to feel like, oh, like their life is even worth living. Here's the harsh reality. Whether you do something that you love and you share it, whether you do that or not, nobody cares. Nobody cares whether you do what you truly want to in your life or not. And so I'm not really paying attention to all of the negative feedback. I'm using it as constructive. Um, and the reality is, nobody gets good in one day. There's a lot of periods of hurt and failure and really messy emotional times where you feel like nothing matters. And then all of a sudden, 10 years later, your dream comes true because you didn't stop trying. And I'm trying to keep the faith even in a difficult moment, which is the hardest thing to do in the world, which is maintain hope and faith when you're fighting for something that you've deserved from the beginning of your life and you still don't have it. You get me? You resonate with that? Like, you're fighting so hard for something that you should have already had. The security, the peace, the everything else. A life that you actually wanted, a life that you actually chose, instead of just being guided by someone who doesn't really care where you end up, someone who doesn't really care about what happens to you. So I've made several other streams where the general notion of what I'm trying to do is very simple, which is share a multi perspective and realize that we're all just trying to get somewhere. And wherever that is subjective to us, but everybody wants similar things. And it's not that I lack the talent. It's not that I lack the skill. It's that I lack the audience to even watch me do the things I'm capable of. It's to lack the social connections to even share the truth of the experience with. It's like you're carrying a detailed archive and library of vast amounts of information, yet you have no way to conduce it into like a consistent content schedule. So the real struggle here is a mix of emotional, environmental, social isolation, and also the inability to regulate and consistently target a specific niche of content and continuously upload on a very strict schedule, even when you don't get results. It's very hard to get very frustrated. It's very easy to get frustrated. It's very hard to keep going, even when you get a lot of people being judgmental, a lot of people not understanding the full story, paying attention for more than 2 minutes. And even if I can get my voice out there, even to one or two people, that's enough. That's enough for me. Because I can see other people are out here not doing that much more than me, not really trying that much harder. And somehow they have 400, 500,000 plus viewers just doing random things. So why can't I do the same thing? Why is it that these people magically get more favor over me than, I'm also a person and I matter and everyone else who sees this matters. We need to have more faith in the world and we need to be kinder to each other. It's really not fair. It's not nice. It's not kind. We don't understand the full story. We should really just be respectful. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. Respect and attention. Because I have something important to share. If people would just be willing to listen for 5 minutes, that would be great. Which is, first of all, we're all on the same planet, breathing air. That's an undeniable fact. Another undeniable fact is that we don't live forever, and we should probably do what we want to do every single day. Otherwise, it will feel like a waste of time. The third thing is that if you really care about something and know that you produce something that is meaningful to you and that you care about, then you shouldn't deviate from that. And then the fourth thing is that everyone lives on planet Earth and everyone comes from their own origins. Everyone has a story. Everyone has different experiences. Everyone loses has unique forms of tragic moments. Everyone is afraid of being vulnerable because it means that they actually have to share a true story. And people fear something more than being disrespected or people hating on them for actually telling them a true story and having the balls to actually share something that's actually a real story. That's nonfiction, by the way. All right? Nonfiction, which is like you lose a lot in your life, and every day becomes nearly impossible because you're being over judgmental of yourself. Most of the problem with the world today is that we can't just sit with ourselves for more than 5 minutes and literally just tell ourselves that we love who we are. Like, just literally, it's that simple. Literally, just tell yourself that you love yourself. I'm not even joking. It sounds corny, but literally do it. It might do something important. Like, you might receive something you never knew you needed. Because all of us, all around the world, are doing everything we can. And the fact that I'm even here trying this today is saying a lot about my resilience because I've lost a lot of family and I've lost pets before. And from a very young age, I lost a lot. I've always lived in poverty, and I've never had many real friends in person, and that's a lot of things to carry at once. Also, the awareness of the fact of how algorithms and systems and online systems work, and how the hard reality that no one really cares where you end up in life, and no one really cares about how you feel. A lot of people don't really care. Um, but I can't stay quiet. When I have something important to share, I can't stay quiet because when we have a truth to tell, right? When we keep telling lies to ourselves like, "Oh, I don't really want this," or "I don't need this." The truth is that we do need it and we do want it and that we haven't had it for a long time and that we just want to finally be able to say that we have. And it doesn't even have to be that complicated. We should believe in ourselves if the people that we admire, even just a little bit, are doing the exact same things that you are, breathing and just being who they are. It doesn't really take much. It's not that you have to change much about yourself. We are enough. Like, we are enough as we are. It's just that the algorithms are designed to keep us demotivated and to keep us internalizing and making every single comment personal rather than just doing what we were doing starting this for. The entire reason why I started this live stream today was because I had a message. I had a message, and that's the only reason why I created this. So I could either have fun, chill out, play music, play video games, or send a message. Very simple, intentional reason to start. That's it. Just a very simple, intentional reason. So I'm just going to share whatever I have to say now. No matter if it reaches 5 people, 2 people, I don't care. As long as somebody hears this today, love yourself more. You're doing the best you can. Everything seems to fall apart some days, and it feels pointless what you're pursuing. Feels like you're never getting back what you give, and it's almost like everything's stealing from your soul and your energy rather than feeding it and encouraging you continue to do what you do, and that you live with zero regret and you provide something of value to the world that pays you and sustains your life and the lifestyle that you want, which is, I'm sure, what a lot of people are actually focused on, actually achieving that. And it really comes down to the main things, like, are you actually treating yourself very well today? Are you treating yourself kindly? Are you being respectful to yourself and recognizing your own problems? Are you being patient with yourself? Or are you rushing yourself? Are you rushing into things? Are you forcing yourself to be more than what you are? If you're trying too hard to impress people or to get attention, that's not an authentic way to share something. When you're sharing an authentic story, it's not about statistics and it's not about wearing masks. This is a place where we share the truth, not hide from it. And the ugly truth is this: a lot of us are afraid and we hide from our problems and we hide from the truth because when we face it, the reality of what is existing is coming forth into truth, like it is coming into the light, and that what we are doing is being revealed to the world. It feels scary because we're actually doing the right thing. We're actually sharing something that matters and that is important to us, like a personal experience, a story, or just, sharing anything at all. I don't even care what it is. Like, people are programmed and, to, like, conditioned to believe that they deserve a life below what they're worth. And when people don't believe in their own worth, that is the core issue. When you know the person that you are and the things that you've accomplished, you know that you deserve better, and yet better never comes. But why is that? How come you don't get what you're worth? How come what you're worth is never returned? And that everyone struggles indefinitely? That's a real question to ask now, isn't it? That's a very difficult one. Because we all share like similarities that we don't recognize. And maybe even just the littlest bit of respect or attention for more than 2 seconds is appreciated. That's literally it. That's all I ask. And even the littlest impact can ripple out infinitely. And so I truly believe that even the smallest impacts matter, even if they're small, even if they're not, grand impacts that are broadcasted across, like channels of hundreds of thousands of people watching and millions of people watching. Like, it doesn't have to always be large groups of people. It could just be, even if 5 people hear the truth of what's on your mind, just to share a truth that, like, you're not alone and that, like, everyone struggles with their own form of a challenge. Like, for example, life feels repetitive and pointless, for one, and times are uncertain, and people are starting to become more aware of the way things work, and they want to create opportunities for themselves to live differently. So we just have to keep trying, even if it sucks, even if we hate the life we have. If we don't keep trying, nothing will ever happen. And I've had a lot of experiences where people are being immature, disrespectful, negative, but despite all of the hardships and the traumatic experiences that I've had and the lack of support that I needed when I needed it, here I am today spreading an important message that whatever it is that you want to do with your life and whatever it is that you really care about, you should never let anyone tell you not to do it. Because there's people right now in the world that are currently doing that. There's people in the world today that are already doing those things as we speak. So why not you next? You really have to ask that with genuine certainty. You have to be genuine. Like, why not? If somebody else has something exactly the way you want to have it, why don't you have it? Like, honest question. Like, if somebody has all of these experiences that you want to have, why can't you be the one to do that next? If you're stuck in a situation where you don't even feel like your values are being seen, that's suffocating. Just think about it. All of those questions are constantly running through my brain. How does a person be normal when it feels like you fight every second you're trying? Yeah, that's the problem with consciousness. Everybody, all right, this is going to sound deep. Everyone's breathing. Everyone shares the same biological traits. Everyone's breathing, everyone's blinking, and yet everyone has a completely different life. Why do you think that is? How come we all share the same experience of life, breath, blinking, talking, and yet everyone is so uniquely different and has their own unshared struggle? Like their losses, their pains, the things they remember is all unique to them. And so even the littlest bit of respect and kindness goes a very long way. You need to understand where people come from. And it's very important to just understand the hardships, like all of these things that people do to provide genuine good for the world and try to just make a meaningful change and lasting impact despite their limited fleeting life, despite that their essence is fading over time, and that some of the most amazing people in the world, they only had a limited time to exist on the earth. The really sad, tragic truth of life is that we all have limited time. Despite we try to always deny that everything is limited and that all of this hate and all of this negativity bias and none of it's going to matter. The only thing in the end of the day in the future and your future self is going to thank you for is actually being able to tell yourself, I actually did the thing I wanted to do and I feel proud of myself for doing it. Like, if you feel proud of yourself, like genuinely, I mean genuinely, from your heart, from your soul, if you can tell yourself, wow, I did that, and just be like, actually clap for yourself, even when no one else is there, and just be like, wow, I actually did that, and just respect it. Respect the uniqueness of the accomplishment. Because I've already accomplished many unique things. It's just that I have no idea how to share it. And another problem with sharing the truth and another problem with sharing what we create is number one, a lot of people are judgmental and a lot of people are assholes. Number two, it's really hard to get our ideas across, especially when we think in a, because I'm autistic and I also, so I'm very blunt and very emotional. So a lot of people are going to like pick on me for like, oh, you're sensitive. Oh, like this is the problem. We need to be more understanding that people have literal medical conditions that they cannot control the way that they think or control the way they behave. It's literally built into the person. All right. We need to be mindful of this as well. There's so many complications. All right. And when you really believe in what you're doing, um, it does not matter, um, because you are so focused on the idea of what you're trying to accomplish that it almost, you live it. It's not an idea anymore. It becomes closer to reality. Like the people, like, obviously you're watching this, you're a real person. Like, I respect you for listening. I can understand that you're on the other side of the screen and you're listening. Like, I genuinely appreciate that. Like, it makes me feel happy. Morality is real, and the closer I get to it, the more I regret some of my past. Some of the things I never did, thought I could have. That's the complex part. For starters, human beings are limited, and they can only do so much at one time. And the problem with the modern world is it's hyper digitalized. People's attention and the scrolling, and hyper deficit attention and autistic traits, and conditions and mental health problems and addictions and social isolation, and these problems are real, and they're real problems, and they can't just be ignored forever. People deserve hope and love and respect, and not to feel like every single meaningful action is not rippling in a meaningful way. So I'm just going to share what I created today, which is, once you get very specific on what it is that you want out of your life, it becomes a lot easier to get more of it. There has been days when I literally did not at all did I feel like there was any point to even getting up. To literally not want to get up, to saying rude things to myself, to being hateful toward myself, instead of being like respectful towards myself and being like, you're in a difficult situation. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to want better for yourself. It's okay to do better for yourself. So the way I look at it is this. Every single time that you have somebody that is being hateful and disrespectful towards you is saying a lot more about them than it is about you. When you are clear and certain on what you're trying to do, it doesn't deter you from your path. Because when you think about how the billions of people in the world, and a lot of them are living in fear rather than living and thriving from choice, courage, and responsibility, and also personal self-respect and self-love. It's a lot easier to talk about the concept than it is to actually apply the concept. Do you get me? It's a lot easier to consume a concept than it is to actually convey a message to an audience, to be a creator, to be the source of the person delivering a message, and to be widely seen and understood, than it is to just endlessly consume other people's content and feed them more views and feed them more money, right? And so the more aware that a society becomes that the depression is fueling a money machine, that other people are making unlimited money and living, the whole system is corrupt and it's all rigged, because it's like your emotional reactions is what has a grip on you, and it makes you do things that are not even good for you, right? The hard part is accepting that we're actually the problem. And it's really hard to be like accountable and be like, listen, I'm not doing my best, and like I'm genuinely at fault. And I get it. It's not easy to say that because it's the truth. We as people, we do so much, and all we really truly want is to be seen and to have a life that we enjoy. It's really not that complicated at all when you talk, when you say it like that. When you speak, when you just literally just say it as it is. That's the truth. It's not that we're not enough. It's not that we don't have value. It's not that what we're saying doesn't matter. It's not that, oh, if we had more attention, then everything would be perfect. Because the reality is, the more authentic the message, the more likely that it's actually going to get less engagement, because people are more engaged in stupid things. Because majority of the counts online are probably inauthentic and probably very hyper unrealistic and inflated, egotistical, fake content, like people pretending to be something they're not. And so the moment that you come across something unique, like me genuinely talking from experience is not something that you're going to typically run into, because a lot of people keep all of that information hidden because, like, oh, it's scary to share a true story. But if something feels scary or feels weird, then maybe you should do it. I've been trying it lately. All right, when something feels weird, I try it out just to test, where is this place of fear even coming from? Just trying to genuinely understand what is triggering this reaction. Do you feel insecure? Do you feel like all of these negative things that you want to get rid of? Because I'm sure that subconsciously or internally, in a deep seated sense, that it's kind of something that's left its impact with you and it's left its mark. Which, of course, being backstabbed by a narcissist, losing your dad at 6, and losing a bunch of fake, like, just having a lot of people just not even care about what happens to you, it's a lot to take on. Like, when problems stack on top of each other, it hurts more and more over time. All right? So, I'm just trying to share a simple truth, which is we all come from a place of unique hurts. We all just want to do better for ourselves. And honestly, we all want to improve. But the actual process of genuinely improving yourself feels like torture. From the beginning, when you actually improve yourself, it feels fucking impossible. Like, I'm never going to be able to do that, or whatever most people say. I'll never be able to do that. I'll never get there. I'll never blah 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 blah. You can, you will, you are, you can. It's possible. You just need to keep trying. And we need to feed ourselves that positivity, that love, and that self-encouragement, because without it, nothing's ever going to get done, and we're just always going to avoid the work. We're always going to avoid what needs to be done. And I'm a victim of this. I have been avoiding a lot because I'm lazy and my attention isn't great and my attention's scattered all over the place and I overthink things and I don't do things I need to do. And the more in tune we come with the truth of how everyone's feeling, and the real source of the pain is that what we want has not even come to us. Let me simplify this. There's something in your life that you feel like you deserve. For example, more money, more opportunities, more connections, more love, more respect, more attention, more blah, 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 all sorts of things. And yet, everything stays exactly the same. You feel stuck in a loop that you cannot escape. You feel like being authentic is a danger. But the moment that you do something you don't normally do, you're breaking out of the loop and you're proving to yourself that you can feel different about your life and that you can feel different about yourself and it's possible to change. The more and more that you try, even when you don't want to, even when you feel like everything is pointless and that nothing you do will matter, and yet you're still here, still in the same situation, whether, like, for me personally, I'm still in the same situation that I'm in real life, regardless of what I decided to act upon today. The beautiful thing of the way the world works is I could have chosen to not do this at all. I could have chosen to just do nothing today. And everything would have stayed the same, and I would have been stuck in the same loop all over again. And I don't want to be in the same loop again. I don't want to have the same life forever. I don't want everything to stay the same. I want things to change, even when I'm not ready. Well, thank you for sharing today. I missed my group therapy today, but I somehow doom scrolled to here. I really appreciate your honesty and realness. What you're saying is resonating strongly. Well, that's great, because I'm not done sharing. Um, here's the truth that no one tells you, which is social media is full of fake people. All right? That's the first part. It's full of fake people, personalities that project all sorts of things without understanding the logistics of how you can actually apply these things into your real life. The real problem is the conversion from actual advice that is given to you on the internet into actually applying it into your real life scenario. It's a lot easier to just absorb and consume content, correct? Than it is to apply the advice and the information and to actually act on it. You get me? Like, it's a lot harder to do something. I didn't have to do this live stream, but look at me. This live stream is going on for an hour and a half, and I didn't have to do this. This is just out of my own, just wanting to share something truthful and just to cope. It's way easier to watch someone else do something than to do it yourself, which is why a lot of people are very disrespectful toward the people that actually take the step toward doing it. And the truth is that I've probably already written a book. I'm currently writing a book myself. And the important thing to remember is that it's not about the genre. It's about the impact. It's about the value of what you're speaking into the world. It's about the value that you're providing. It's not just about the story. It's about the feeling from my life is this really horrible, really sucky, like kind of hell that I don't want to be a part of anymore. And then it shifts into a paradise. All right, just imagine that. Just imagine what that feels like for that to happen. You come from absolutely nothing, bottom of the pit. You lose everything that you love. Bottom of the pit, lowest of the lowest of the lows. You try and nothing works. And then all of a sudden, everything you've ever wanted, it just flows into your fucking life like a waterfall. Right? Just imagine that. Just imagine it. Just imagine what that feels like. Finally, like the relief. Just imagine that. Finally, I got what I wanted. Finally. Just imagine how that feels. Like, and then you realize what you actually wanted was not even that complicated. What you actually wanted, what your heart actually wanted, was something that it would never admit, which is that you wanted more for yourself. You wanted a better life. You wanted to be surrounded by better people. You wanted to have a lifestyle change. You wanted to be surrounded by a more peaceful and calming environment. You wanted all of these different things, and yet you're still stuck in the same situation. Why? Because wanting something doesn't give it to you. Taking something and doing something is what gives it to you, what gets it to you, what makes it arrive, is when you believe in the worth that you already have. It's very hard to trust yourself, especially in uncertain times when everything feels pointless and the actions that you are taking feel like they are leading nowhere. But I can guarantee you this, the difference between a person that has everything they've ever wanted and the person that has nothing and dies with nothing is that they took a risk and that they really put themselves out there and had people make fun of them and had people do all sorts of things and have them be uncertain and still put themselves in front of an audience regardless. Just imagine how fucking terrifying that must feel to know that if you fuck up, everyone there's going to laugh at you. But you still put yourself up on the stage and you start talking. It's a lot easier to make fun of somebody than to actually go do the thing yourself, which is exactly what it's returning to my original point, which is when you actually become the source of the content, when you actually become the person that is delivering instead of the person that is consuming the delivering, it's a lot harder to maintain that cycle of like, I am the source of the content. By the way, I'm making main videos, posting on the same exact channel that the stream is happening on, and they are from many types of games that I play on PlayStation that are screen recorded, and there's also a lot of broadcasts that I did from the past. I started this channel in December of 2019, by the way, which is 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago. And that's a long time to have a channel. The same person that made videos and recorded broadcasts from several years ago, I'm still here doing it right now. To think that I made a broadcast, a live stream on PlayStation, I believe in 2020, trying to maintain that positive attitude through all of the difficult experiences in life and all of the challenges that it throws your way is the ultimate test. What really tests someone's character and resilience is when all sorts of challenges hit someone straight in the face, and yet they still decide that I'm still going to share this message today, which is simple. Everyone is struggling with something. Whether they want to admit it or not, whether they hide from it, whether they deflect or project their insecurities, the truth stands. Everyone has their own problems. And I know this. This is true. And not every single one person's problem is the same, because everybody comes from a different background. And it's important to be very respectful of that. How some people have really gone through a lot, and yet they still try to find meaning in hopeless times. Well, you've made a difference to me. I look forward to more of your positivity. And it's things like that. It's things like that that really just one single little step at a time. Just having someone say that is really helpful, because honestly, I made myself do this because I felt like this is what I had to do. It felt like the right thing to do for today. And honestly, I didn't have to do this. You know, there might have been in another universe where there might have been a chance that I might have avoided this because I was too afraid to put myself out there. Because actually being heard for what you actually want to say is like so frightening, because oh my god, someone else is hearing me say something true. Well, yes, we all feel like shit. That's the truth. We all feel fucking terrible because we're missing something that we need or want. And it's the fucking truth. It's literally the truth. It is the truth. And you can't hide from that. I've done all sorts of things. I've tried everything, and everything just feels like it's not working. You know, the frustration really comes deep in the heart, because it's like, when am I going to get what I want? Like, when? It feels like you've been waiting forever for something that you deserve to have already. It feels genuinely unfair. And I'm sure that a lot of people feel the same exact way, which is exactly why people quit. Because nobody's even listening. Nobody's even paying attention. There's so much beauty waiting to come out inside of each person, and yet they repress it. Yes, they suppress it because they feel like, oh, someone's going to judge me, or someone's going to be rude. Like, what a shallow way of thinking. I would continue to spread the truth even if people spread hate, because the truth is, We're allowed to do whatever we want. There's no one stopping you. There's literally no one getting in your way. If you just put yourself out there and do something, anything, it doesn't have to be a monumental change like, oh my god, like I came from nothing to having everything and now everything is magically perfect. That's not realistic. All I mean is doing your best is enough. We're all just trying to survive. We're all just trying to find our place in the world. And the more aware that we become of everybody and what they're doing and focus on what we're doing and what we're trying to where we're trying to get instead of always targeting other people, like, bro, there's been people on here that have said things like, word of advice, do yourself a favor, do this, do that, like, can you do this, blah blah, like immediately making demands. Like, this is the problem with the world today. We don't actually look inwards enough, and we also don't look outwards enough in terms of like the fact that other people have their own unique set of challenges, and that we really need to be respectful towards one another. We need to have a more equitable society where everybody feels rewarded for their contributions and doesn't get caught into a depression loop of constantly consuming uh, and being ignored and socially isolated for prolonged periods of time without being held accountable for their actions and having a general direction in life that leads them towards a positive career that fulfills them and sustains them financially. Because that's the reality of the situation. A lot of people are stuck in these loops because they are missing something. A deep part of themselves has almost been erased because they, for example, you know that something's wrong, and you know that something needs to change, and yet you still live in the exact same way. The frustrating part, the really, really frustrating thing is that you know what you need to do. And this is what hurts. This is what really hurts. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. And yet, what do? You do nothing. You know exactly what it is you need to be doing, and yet you feel completely lost. That is exactly how I feel all of the time. And sometimes, in any case, there's also times when you do the exact thing that you should have done, that you've always done in the past, and yet it feels way more difficult than last time. So I just don't understand why people can't just meet their future self, where every missing piece and every missing part of themselves, every need, every anything, every part of them is just no more problems, no more negativity, no more hate, no more disrespect, no more lacking, no more fearing the future, no more losing anything else, just only to gain, only to overcome, only to reach a place of satisfaction that lasts, not something that's short term, but something that leaves a long lasting impact and had a meaningful action that we are expressing our losses, expressing the complexity of our own conditions and our own biases. It's not easy to do that because if it was easy, everyone would do it. What I'm essentially doing is I'm looking inward and understanding my own flaws, while also outwardly projecting the truth and saying how I feel exactly, which is I'm frustrated with the way that the world works, and I want everyone to have equal opportunities, but it's not the case. Not everyone has equal opportunities, despite the skills, talents, or the abilities they have, are not fully respected or appreciated, and people get lost behind. People get left behind. They get lost, and it sucks because people's full worth is being completely dismissed, and what they deserve to have is taking forever to arrive. You get me? And I just want better for people. I want better for me. I want better for other people. But I can't have everything change for everyone else when I can't even change myself. It's really hard to just get through a time where it's like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. But here I am. I'm talking about all of it, about how frustrated I feel about it. Just ranting. Because I did a 35-minute rant a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I believe, where I was talking about how I have everything that I need, but everything still feels hopeless. All at the same time. And it makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. And I'm happy to see that at least you know who you are, actually listened. And to me, that means everything. That you actually listened. I respect you for that. I respect you taking the time out of your day to actually listen. Because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't. So to know that you're out there somewhere in the world actually paying attention, thank you. Because we all have a story, we all have something to share, and eventually our time will come. You have to believe it. Believe your time will come. It will. I just wanted to say that never stop trying, okay? Even when everything is falling apart. Keep trying. Just keep trying. Because I don't come from a very privileged background. I don't come from an easy place. In fact, I'd say the complete opposite. It's been hell every day. It's been survival, 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 survival. There's never been any time to relax, take care of myself, or have a good time, or enjoy, or just. Every moment has been constant chaos, noise, narrow space. Just every negative feeling is just hitting right in the heart, right in the wrong places. And despite that, I resist the urges, I resist doing anything unhealthy toward myself, despite the negative feelings that come and go. I have the strength to sit with it and reason with myself and to tell myself that no, you deserve better than this. It's not your fault that you feel horrible. You deserve more. If more people could just become aware of that and be like, all right, this is actually the logical truth. You should not subjectively attach your emotional reactions to a objective reality, which is you are lacking certain things that you need and that your needs weren't met, and you're allowed to be mad. You're allowed to be mad. You're allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to want change. You're allowed to want something different. You're allowed to want people to listen, to share something important, to have people, even just to have a little bit of an impact on others, whatever that means. Thank you and keep trying too. Let's make all our dreams and hopes come true. I agree. Because the more that I've been looking around, I've been seeing more people doing more of what they want. And I feel like in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, I have a feeling. I'm back after a while. What's up? Um, I have a distinct feeling that in the future, that we're going to have a generation of people that are creating things and that they're going to have a job where they share stories or where they use their skills and talents to create an income for themselves and actually live a life where they get to do what they want every single day because they decided to take a risk, kind of like what I'm doing. And those unique opportunities only come when you make a bold decision that feels uncomfortable and that feels different. And the logical truth is that no, I am not neurotypical. I am neurodivergent. I have certain mental conditions where my attention is highly, very spread all over the place. For example, um, my attention is in several places at once. I may be looking at the phone screen, at the chat, and talking, and then I may be looking in a different direction in the room, constantly scanning and analyzing around, like hyper analytic, just doing more than I need to do instead of just focusing on the simple task ahead. What I find really hard to do is to just sit down. Like, I'm not even joking. Sit down and write. Sit down and stare at the wall for 10 minutes. It feels impossible to do that. Literally impossible. Remember me? Yes, I do. 1,000 projects started, 2 almost finished. Congratulations. For me, the problem for me, I feel like, is not having an echo chamber where you can express your feelings. Because everyone has their own feelings about stuff, and just having an echo chamber to channel that energy into and be like, it's possible for our dreams to come true, and that we don't have to sit on the sidelines forever. It's just a cozy reminder. Um, but yeah, what really frustrates me the most is I see other people. You know, it's kind of like an envious feeling where you look at someone else and you're like, they're doing something that I wish I was doing. They're doing something that I wish I could be able to do, and yet you're still not there yet. You get what I mean? Like, you always find yourself comparing your personal journey with other people's. It tends to happen a lot because we're designed to always analyze and compare and to want to feel superior, which is the entire problem. We need to let go of that ego. The ego is not helping us. It's not challenging us. It's not changing us. It's not solving our problems at all. It's making them even worse. We need to be more open, even when that means sharing something that we wouldn't normally share online. I just had McDonald's and joined the stream. What's up? I'm currently eating a beef wrap myself. I'm just chilling at my desk, thinking about what I could share next. I mean, there's so much I could talk about. I mean, there's so many things that I could say. For starters, I hope everyone's dreams come true. I hope that whatever struggles that you face, and that for anyone that hears me speaking, anyone who hears my voice here today, I I want to thank you for being here and listening to what I have to say, because there's truth in what I say, which is it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to feel like trash, and it's okay to feel stuck. It's okay to feel hard on yourself. It's just important to never let it consume you. It's a lot easier to be negative and be defensive than it is to practice being open and honest, and to have strong communication, and to tell a real story to a real audience and be like, my experience is I come from a very hard place where the joy and the experiences that you want to have are they seem impossibly far away from the reality that you live. For example, you want to live somewhere different, or you want to have a different experience where you're surrounded by a beautiful environment and you have amazing friends that look out for you. And it could be the smallest, simplest wishes, simplest hopes, just the smallest things, the smallest changes, because they matter. The smallest changes are the most impactful changes. Even just the little ones like me having a conversation here, even if it's just one or two people, three people, I don't care. The entire point is that we're not alone in the world, and that whatever you feel is valid, completely valid, and that you're allowed to be upset with the world, with yourself. You're allowed to want a better life. You're allowed to want more for yourself. You're allowed to want to feel better. You're allowed to want to change. You're allowed to want the things that you should have had from the start. Sometimes you just need to accept the truth and reality without giving up. There's a difference between accepting the truth of how something is and actually doing something despite the truth. For example, it's easy to stagnate when you feel like there's no point in doing what you do. Here's the hard truth. I'm just going to say it directly. If you persist, if you are suffering a genuinely horrible day where it's like everything just feels like fucking trash and you just don't want to do anything, and yet you still continue to do something despite how you feel, it's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you better. Even if it sucks, it's going to make you better. It fucking hurts. Of course it hurts. Of course. No one said it's not going to. No one said it's not going to. It's going to be the worst, most difficult thing you've ever done, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. You have to think about it like that. What you did is going to have a huge ripple effect. And one of my main frustrations in life at this current moment is that the idea of being alive is so surreal that you almost have no idea what to even do with your own life. Like, why am I even here to begin with? It feels like a confusing experience that you are still discovering what it even means to be who you are. Trying to even find yourself is really deep. But when you realize the truth behind you could work a job for 30 years or more and still be unhappy with your life, and realize that it was never about the job that you had, it's never about the amount of money you had, but it's about actually loving the person that you already were without judgments. It sounds so simple, but oh my god, is it fucking impossible. Sometimes it feels absolutely impossible just to do that, even though it's exactly what you should do. Many small changes add up. Their combined weight leads to something bigger. You are wiser than you realize. Have a great night. I look forward to taking in some more of your wisdom in the future. Just for reference, by the way, uh, I'm 17 years old and I've already written a book and I'm creating a formula for an understanding of all of space and time and like trying to understand how everything is like everyone always has different thoughts at every point in time all over the world and I'm just coming up with a way of trying to understand that even when you feel like you're all by yourself, you're not. You never are. You never are. There's always someone there. I hope you have an amazing supper. All right. You want to come and chat later? Gotcha. So, there's a lot of truths that we don't get told and a lot of advice that we receive, but it's important to remember that the application to real life, actually applying the real insight and the real information that we've already acquired, the hardest part of actually making the change is actually applying what we have learned. It's a lot easier to constantly consume new insights, new advice, instead of actually applying the advice that we received and applying the information that we learned. It's infinitely easier to consume ideas, content, consume, uh, life changing ways to change your entire life and live a different reality, blah, 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 all of this nonsense. But when it comes to actually changing something for real, it's way more different because this is your life. Is this what you want? Do you want something more? Is this not enough? Like eventually with time, eventually you figure it out. It's not immediate, not for anybody anywhere in the world. Even if there's just a thread of hope left, just holding on to that hope, knowing that somehow it will work. Somehow it will work. Something will happen. Eventually, somehow. This is not just a rant. This is genuinely the truth of what it means to actually change something that you can no longer accept as a reality. For example, the daily life that you're currently living. You want things to change. You want things to be different. You want to have a better life, right? But you have no idea how to do that, right? It's a common problem that everyone has. Everyone has a heart. And if you have the right message and you send it in the right direction, it has gravity. It has a huge impact. And so just to know that I reached one or two people is honestly enough, because if I can just be here and just talk about stuff, I don't really care. Getting everything out there feels authentic. It's like I'm just venting about how I hate things, how I hate how things are, and I want things to be different. I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to tell the truth as it is. And I feel like it's very important to just like get it out in the open so that we no longer have to convince ourselves that oh, everything's fine when everything sucks. Um, and we're allowed to hate how things may be, and that it's possible for them to change, even if we don't know how to do it. I'm glad to drag this on for 2 hours. We started at 8:24 and it's 10:24 and we're still going. So that's epic. I can't wait to watch this back. I can't wait to watch it and listen to everything that I said. And I'm really excited to watch my own stuff because it makes me feel appreciative of what I have to say, appreciative of what the message that I'm conveying, appreciative of the sentiments that a lot of people share, similar needs, wants, and similar dreams. Maybe not all identical, but everyone has similar spirit. So I have hope, even if it's just a small amount. There's still some left, just a little bit, and I want to hold on to that as much as I possibly can. To believe that things can change, even when I think that they won't, even when I feel like it's like, why try? Like there's no hope anything will become any different. But that's probably the exact moment that all of it changes for the better. It's hard to accept the way something is, especially when it's not the way you want it to be. Especially when that means owning up to your own mistake or admitting that you are at fault. It's hard to do that because you're owning a mistake rather than deflecting. It hurts a lot more because you're at fault and you're the problem. And yet, the difficulties of what you face are also not all entirely your responsibility, and not all of these things that happen to you are all of your responsibility. Not everything that happens to you is something you need to react to, and not everything that happens to you is for you to deal with. We're all limited. We all deserve a break. We all deserve similar things and needs to be filled, but not always are they ever fixed. Not immediately. They take their sweet, painful time, and it takes a very long time just for simple things to happen. We're being taught a lesson in real time, but we just don't understand it yet. If I'm capable of repeating the same action over and over again, despite feeling empty, it's about me proving something to myself, not to anybody else. It's about me proving that I could do it, proving that I can continue even when I don't want to continue. There's a power in that. It's a strength a lot of people don't possess. Not everything yields an immediate result, but the truth will prevail, and every effort counts, even when you don't feel like it does. And there was one last thing I wanted to add, and I wanted to mention something, which is, in the end of the day, everyone's going to make it. And everything that we worry about is not going to matter as much as it does in the present as it will in the future. And that we need to focus on what counts most right now. And that the more that we do that, the more that the things that actually need to change will change naturally without us forcing a change. So it feels more natural that we shift into the change that we needed instead of forcing it to come sooner than it has to, or then sooner than it needs to. Just to let nature take its course while also doing the best you can eventually provides you with everything you were asking for. Because rushing and pressuring yourself too much will make you feel sick.